Hello. This video is a Bashar quote when Bashar goes, "Enlightenment is when you realize that you are the path that you previously thought you were on." So I think that's a cool quote because it can explain what a lot of people it can explain a lot of problems that people have in life, like lots of people, they don't like the family that they're in, or the neighborhood they live in or whatever. And they're bummed about their situation, or maybe even they don't like their body. And so I think basically, I think a good thing to put in perspective is what everybody should realize is that we are eternal beings. Because in this world, a lot of people think that all we are is our bodies, and then when you die, you're gone forever. Like, we only have one life to live, so you better live it up, and stuff like this. And that's a bad philosophy. You only have one life to live. Because think about it like this. People go camping, and they go to like a mosquito infested canoe trip someplace, and I camp a couple days on some like mosquito infested place, getting bit all the time, and it's just they have to cook their food outside, and it's really hot and muggy, and they're uncomfortable, physically uncomfortable, can't take a shower, right? And then they go home and they're like, "Oh, that was a cool trip, man, look at all these photos," right? So it's the same as like with your soul. Sometimes, and it's like these are people who have good lives, and they have nice houses and everything, but they still want to go out on a vacation, to have a trip, to see how they'll react, or to learn something about the this area where they're going to, and then they don't have a problem with it even when they're on the trip, because they know that it's only temporary. So if you can realize that your life is only temporary, and you realize that you chose your life, you chose your family and everything, then you can realize that if you don't like your body, maybe, or your family, maybe you can realize that, remember that before you came into being, you looked at your family and you said, "Okay, I want that," because you were like, "Oh, cool, I want to challenge myself with that." Like you could live, say, 1,000 lives on a utopian planet where all you do every day is fly your flying saucer to different planets, checking them out, and riding the awesome water slides at your utopian planet, and hanging out on the beautiful beaches, and going hang gliding every day, and then after 1,000 lives of that, you go, you look at these planets, these interesting planets where there's problems, and one of these days you're probably going to go, "You know what, I want to go on a vacation, I want to check that crazy planet out and actually live there." And but the only way to actually live there is if you're born there, and and you're not, when you don't remember who you really are, you have to find that out for yourself. So it makes it more interesting. So then you get born there, so maybe we do it deliberately in order to teach ourselves certain stuff about life, like maybe it's the only way to learn how to persevere through something. You're not totally sure that you can do something because you had it so easy, and you want to challenge yourself. So then you're born into a certain family. So maybe you're born into a certain body type because you want to know if you're capable of even though you're born into a body that gets really fat really easily, you want to see if you can turn that fat body into a strong muscular body, or if you want to know what happens, you want to know what it's like to be schizophrenic. So you're born into a schizophrenic body just to know what that's like, you know what I mean? So and so that's the challenge, and that's I guess the encouragement is to realize, we're all going to be a lot better off in this world if we just realize that we're eternal, and we're always having an eternal amount of lives, an eternal amount of situations. Um, so just make do with what you have. Just I think a lot of people get stressed out too, and they're like, oh, I'm 35 years old, and what have I done with my life? Oh man, time's running out, I'm getting old. Well, if time's run out and you get old, what's the big deal anyways? Because this was just what you did in this life, maybe you did lots of weird stuff and had a lot of, you could have spent your life traveling, but instead you spent your life volunteering for lepers in Africa, and maybe at the end, so at the end, don't go, oh man, I could have been having fun partying at the hostels traveling around Europe. Well, you chose to help the lepers. So, maybe if you were traveling around in the hostels, you would have been bored doing that and wish that you were helping lepers. So, at the end of the day, wherever you are, you're doing what you chose to be doing, what you really wanted to do. And so, it's definitely cool in one life to do lots of different things. So, if that's true, then why would it be cool in one's soul's eternal existence to do lots of different things? So, that's basically how I treat my life, like if I were to suddenly get a lot of bad karma, bad luck, and bad stuff happens to me, and I end up not having any money to do anything because I have all these expenses or whatever, then that's what I wanted to do deep down. I put myself in that situation because I wanted to, this was a life where I had to persevere and put the nose to the grindstone to work. So, yeah, I agree. Enlightenment is when you realize you are the path that you previously thought you were on. You're not on some path to try to get to some place, because you're already there. Because you're an infinite soul with an infinite amount of existences all happening simultaneously in an infinite amount of parallel universes before and after our timeline. So, just realize you're the one that's doing this path. So, make the most out of your path. It's the journey that is the goal, not the goal itself, but the journey. So, just do whatever you want to do, and I guess that makes, that the problem with this world right now is that kind of makes you seem like schizophrenic, If you're like doing the one thing and then suddenly I want to do that and then you do the other thing, and people are like, you have to stick to this and be this. That's polarized thinking, to decide that you're going to identify with this one thing and have to stick to it because somebody else says you have to do it. No. And that's, the world's changing, lots of people, I guess most people, they have 5 different careers in one lifetime. That's just what's going on with the world. People aren't choosing a career and keeping it their whole life. Have lots of different careers. So that's a great quote. I love it. Enlightenment is when you realize you are the path that you previously thought you were on. So